Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weekly short review of the week of previous week. So I will go first over the trades I took. I took only two trades, silver dollar, XAGUSD USD, then USD GPY. So I will go first over silver USD. So if I open daily chart, the weekly and the 4 hour. So the daily chart, what can we see on the daily chart? So for me, it was important to see that we had an impulsive move for that inverted and shoulders. So we had here our shoulder one, head, shoulder two, and we could potentially go to the upside because we shifted from momentum. I could see we had here an impulse, correction, correction, impulse. So it's a clear shift from momentum, from impulses, correction. No, we go from correction, correction, impulse, potential correction here. So this trade was a loss, followed by the plan because normally I don't trade commodities, gold, silver, and that stuff. But yeah, this was an exceptional thing to do because what I saw was on that weekly chart, we had here a new action. We tapped this weekly low wick. This was a new action. We had an impulse. Then followed by an impulse, we could receive correction. And then we had also a new action of this daily low because we had here a high, a low, and these are the same lows because we could also say we could have here the same highs. This could be your natural W, which played out afterwards, but on the weekly, it's more clear why I wanted to take this long to the upside. So if I go to the weekly, you can see on the weekly we are still in a bullish trend. We had here our low and this was our high. This is a clear impulse. This is a correction, as you can see. Really big correction. And what we did when we broke out of it, we touched the beginning of correction here. This was the beginning of correction. After this correction, impulse, beginning of correction was tapped. So this was clear. Then we had, after this beginning of correction, impulse to the downside, correction, potential impulse. Then I saw, okay, we have here a clear buying zone, clear wicks, support, false break, support. Here also nice wick. We went to the upside here also. So for me, there was a clear buying zone aligning there. And yeah, we could go to the upside with that weekly candle close. So we had a 4 out of 4. The trend was bullish candle close. The fib from this low till this high I drew, or from this low to this high, you can choose. This was for us, and the supply and demand on here was for you. So for me, it was a 4 out of 4 to take that long. So if I go then to the 4 hour, what could you see to the 4 hour? On the daily, we wanted to see this inverse. As you can see, this inverse, and you could see we came very corrective. We had here our potential shoulder one here, this head, shoulder two, and within that, you had here your bullish M with clear impulse and here a clear correction. It's unfortunate that this didn't play out because it was a clear trade that I wanted to take. I really considered this to trade because, yeah, it was really clean. Impulses here, correction. We had here a fib completion from this high here. I will delete this from this high till this low. We had the minus 27 fib completion riding with that shoulder one. I just set the limit and yeah, even break even. So it went a loss, sorry. So this was a clear loss followed by the plan. Nothing to do about that. So for me, it was a good trade to take. Then the second one, USD after reviewing it, it was a trading error. Uh, because for me, it was a deceleration trade on the 4 hour, but I will go over it. So if I open trades, I will go over it. So if I go over the 4 hour first, you can see my training error was here, or I didn't backtested it enough. Is we had here a deceleration. We had here one candle, second candle, three candles, but then I backtested this. We can have two candles in between without touching this decel zone. So these were the two candles, one, two. Then we tapped it. This was a fourth candle, so I could take my limit. But I didn't backtest it enough, and my win rate is still 32% to to go have a short here. So actually, this was a trade I didn't want to take, but I convinced myself in the trade because I had a losing streak on my verification account for around -8%. So actually, it's really big, and you can see also impulse, a more corrective way till this cell zone. You can see corrective, and then here again at impulse. So here I needed to decide, okay, my winning rate is 32%. I backed 8 trades, which is not enough. And we came impulsive with that correction on that 4-hour chart. You can see here the correction impulse. Yeah, I needed to go out of that trade. So this, yeah, was a conversation I had here. So I said it here. This was a conversation, and that I needed to backtest this more before trading, taking these trades. So then the missed trades, AUD GPY, a lot of GPY pairs, AUD GPY, NZD GPY, AUD CAD is one of them. It's a pullback trade. Then NZD GPY again, NZD GPY. So I will go first over AUD GPY. I had to take this trade. I had a conversation about this on a 4-hour corrective flag. So I was really focused on impulses and corrections. So it was a really big conversation I had because last 2 weeks I was really focused on impulses, corrections, okay, when to take it, when to not take it. But then if I just look and go over the daily, I will explain my mistakes. So on the daily, you can see we had an impulse correction here, waveform A, B, C, fib completion went to the upside. So we had here again impulse, correction, impulse, correction. You had here your pattern within a pattern. You had here your bigger bullish M within that, shoulder one, head shoulder two. So this was all clear for me. This was a clear trade. But then on the 4-hour, if I open the 4-hour here, yes, the 4-hour. So I saw then, okay, if I look in impulses and correction, this was an impulse, this was a clear correction, moving really corrective to, to the upside. And this was giving me a conversation about, maybe it needs to be more impulsive. And actually, I wasn't looking more to the bigger picture. I needed to go to the daily zone, daily chart. So then, I didn't took it and it played out really well. So I could take 2.5% out because I normally take this 2.5% out, as you can see. So this is a conversation I need to place and look at the bigger picture. So what was the daily telling me? Okay, the daily is clear impulse correction, clear pattern within a pattern, clear zone. Yeah, I can take this even if the bullish M under the previous lower high is corrective. It does that a lot of times. So actually, I talked myself out of that. So so this was then the trade. On the weekly, it was just a 2 out of 4. Trend was bullish, and a fib from this low till this high was bullish. Trend here, this bigger bullish M was still here in play. It was clear. The only selling zone was here, sitting against you here potentially. That's the thing. But so then the second one is the DGPY. This was the same conversation I had on the 4-hour. So I will open a daily and 4-hour. So if I go to the daily, you can see normally I would take my fib from this low till this high from the daily, and your 61.80 would be around here, and 78.60 will be around here, something like that. And then we had the call with our mentor, and he said, "Van, if we have a clear impulse and correction and a pattern, is it a risk we want to take?" Because we had here impulse, this was correction, waveform, first leg, second leg, third leg, A, B, C, fib completion, impulse. So we had here impulse, you can see clearly correction, impulse, really nice correction. These candles, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. This only took 1 day, so really nice. And this was talking myself again out on the trade. and you can see it played out still at daily highs really nicely. And yeah, if I look on the 4 hour, what did it talk me out? You can see this trade, this corrective leg where we had here impulse from at this double bottom. New liquidity was taken here, new action, impulse, bullish M. Yeah, this was talking myself out of trade, but yeah, it was also now I need to say that, yeah, it was not necessarily to do that because, yeah, the day was clear and the 4 hour, it's normal to take this kind of trades. And also this leg here was corrective. This small waveform ABC correction till that IC bam went to the upside to that 4 hour minus 27. It could take 2.5% out of the trade. So, yeah, it was a good trade to take actually. So we could already take here 5% out of the market, which is yeah, good to do. And then yeah, AD cat is also another one. This was the same conversation because I was really focused on these impulses and corrections that week, really focused. So if I go to the daily, uh so this is a pullback trade, the first time break trade, because this was your previous lower high, higher high here, low, high. So actually we broke out of it. This is the first time break impulse, and you can see this shoulder one, head shoulder two could take your could push your price back to the upside till that previous support, which can become resistance or break and retest. Um, so I want to take here a trade, and then what I saw was on a 4 hour, you could see here the deceleration trade was forming, but for me, the RR till this previous structure here was not good enough. So what did we receive after that? A small bullish M we received, and it played out to the upside. So this trade I could take, but this is actually already a scale-in trade, kind of, because the decel was invalid, because the RR was not good, but then we received a small M, and I saw this as really corrective price action. And if I took my fib from this high to this low, the 61.80 was tapped here, and that was carrying me off. But actually, this is normal to have on bullish M's under a previous lower high. So yeah. So this again taught myself out of that 4 hour corrective nature. Then here again the scalings on NZD I will go over it on the 4 hour. You could see you could take after this bullish M a trade till yeah these daily highs, and you can see the daily highs were respected and we went to the downside. So after that we received again an impulse. We touch the daily highs. We want to see the daily low step. So we want to receive a natural M. So if I go to the daily, you can see that we received here the same high, so we expect the same lows. This is where my daily zone is aligning with this resistance support. So very nice to have. And then on the 4 hour, you can see we tap this daily lows, and you could have here your first candle, second candle, third candle. You could take your limit at your fourth when your third was closing, and this trade could be running break even because we came back. And then you could take another trade scaling on that shoulder one here, head shoulder two. So these trades, I was not looking at them anymore because I missed the bullish M, the natural M daily highs I didn't drew back then. So these daily highs, I was not looking anymore at the trade specific. I was also in the sauna. Um, yeah, I was here in the sauna, so I didn't look specifically at these daily highs for natural M, so I didn't saw it clearly. So that's the reason actually I didn't took that deceleration. And after that, that NZD-GPY trade, you could take um yeah for that scaling because we had a pattern reset on the daily natural M. You could see here that shoulder one here had shoulder two forming. We didn't tap the daily highs yet, so it was still valid to take. You could see the price is going correctively counter to the trend after that impulse correction. Then here potential again impulse forming till these daily highs. and aligning with that minus 27. So it's good. It was a good trade, but yeah, I wasn't looking at it anymore. And your stop loss could be just below the daily head lows, 5 pips, and then it would be just enough to take the trade. So if I review the week, I could gain, yeah, around 7.5% if I took the loss from silver with it. So this was 7.5 minus one. Then this trade USJPY I didn't need to take, so this was a trading error. So this was, yeah, a trade I didn't need to take. And the GPY diesel was break-even trade. And then the last one, and the GPY that Emerson and Shoulders on the 4 hour was is also still running. So this can potentially also be a 2.5%. So the corrections I need to make that week is yeah, I must be the person that doesn't doubt on the 4 hour chart to take the trade if we come corrective. And we need to look at the bigger daily picture. And I also need to control myself with the conversations I have. And I'm going to park them really much quicker because yeah, the 4 hour was convincing me on some yeah really bad decisions. So yeah, that was my week. Um, and I need to also be the trader that follows his daily camel closes up really well because on the sauna and sometimes when I come from work with early shifts, night shifts, that I don't always be that focused on the daily candle closes. So that's also a working point for me to potentially have these gains like this here and yeah, make that payout. So I hope you like my weekly review. I hope you learned something from it and the new layout I will use. So yeah, I hope you liked and see you next week. Bye.